Sometimes your soulmate is not the man you marry. For this season's episode 4, we'll find 3 people being played by the 3 spinners of fate. Will they be able to make the right choice? Maybe it's his brown, soulful eyes. Maybe it's his familiar, rock-solid body pressed into mine. Maybe it's his spicy, minty breath. Maybe it's the golden glow of the dying sun. Maybe it's the cool sea breeze that gave my hands the impulse to reach out and run my fingers on his hair as he kissed me. Am I making a mistake kissing him back when the control I held on slipped away into nothingness? Is it a sin to want this so much? Yes, it's definitely a sin. Just my sin, because I'm married and he isn't. I don't know when everything got out of hand. I never thought that what happened 3 months ago will lead into this mess that we're in. Behind my closed eyes, my brain played the scene of that fateful day when my heart started to crumble, and with it, my marriage. At 6 a.m., Heroes is packed. Students and teachers are chatting, sipping coffee, and eating their breakfast. For me, this is just another uneventful day of checking task papers and completing pending reports. Eating my breakfast alone feels so natural. It has been half a year now. My engineer husband Paul has been busy after landing a big project 6 months ago. He goes to work every day at 5:30 in the morning to avoid the traffic and comes home by 10 at night when I'm about to sleep. I sigh, sip my coffee, and stare at the school gate just in front of this place. I am unconsciously tapping my fingers to the slow beat of Patti Smythe's Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough, humming a little to the familiar song. I heard the bells above the cafe's door tinkle. I stop and stare at the person who comes in just like everyone else. I feel stares gradually dissipate as some lose interest. However, mine didn't. Instead, it became into something else. Wonder, I guess, because I think I knew him. Surprise, because I know that miracles don't always happen. Anger, because if I think he is who he is, then I have made the biggest mistake of my life. I can feel all my blood drain from my face as he limply walks towards my direction. With every step he takes, this apparition becomes a reality. Black leather jacket with white undershirt paired with a faded ripped jeans, dark ruffled hair, a strong jaw, a decent nose, and brown eyes. Brown eyes are now boring into mine. A pair of brown eyes, a sunset, a little boy, and a girl. A memory so close, it surfaced easily. I will marry you, Caroline, he said with a shy smile. I'm so stunned. I don't know what to say. Stalling, I studied his flushed, chubby cheeks and brown, hopeful eyes. Carter, you're just 12 years old. You're too young, I replied. Not now, but I will once we grow up. You think you'd still grow up? I laughed. What can I do? I love bullying him because I'm taller than him. He punched my shoulder playfully. I promise once we grow up I'll be taller than you. Promises, promises. They're made to be broken. So pessimistic. Sometimes I wonder what kind of food your mother ate when she conceived you. Must have affected your perspective on life, he chuckled heartily. But it's true, I protested. Which one? Your mantra about promises, or that indeed your mother's choice of food did mess up that little brain of yours? We laughed together. This is what's nice about us. Everything's light. We're so comfortable, we get each other's humor. Well, Carter, you keep your promise and then I will believe the optimistic side of life. I grinned, and he showed me a thumbs up. Looking at him now is like a delusion. I must be really crazy for seeing dead people, or maybe I need some smudging to lure away bad spirits. No, he's not bad. He's indeed a good one. I think again. He's bad. No, he's worse. He disappeared on me. He was missing in action for years and now he's standing so close like Apollo in the flesh. And just like that, the emotions I felt, misery, anger, relief, happiness, and regret erupted within my core and brought hot tears in my eyes. My shoulders shook as sobs racked my body. What have I done? Two strong arms pulled me up from my chair, and before I knew it, Carter is ushering me out the coffee shop with one arm on my shoulder and another carrying all my things. I was aware of the eyes following us out the door, but I give no heed because this is my life and I'm allowed to feel what I think I need to feel. Hey, it's okay, I'm here, he cooed. I just sobbed on his chest, dampening his undershirt with my tears. I let my emotions take me away to the place where everything I feel is the only thing that matters. It's not okay. It's never okay. He never said a word, and I don't want him to say anything because up until 2 years ago, his words, don't matter anymore.
This is Regine, and you know how I love listening to podcasts. I've been binging on podcasts for a year when a thought came to mind. Why don't I make my podcast and tell my stories? I thought it's tough to make one until I found out about Anchor. Podcasting with Anchor is easy as 1, 2, 3. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Plus, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. The best part is, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So what are you waiting for? Download the free Anchor app now or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I feel guilty punishing my pen, beating it against the table with rhythm even Eminem can't rap with. I throw it to the wall and wish it dead as my heart. How can I be so stupid? Of course he's alive because the military never declared him dead, just missing. Why didn't I wait for him? Why do I have to marry so early? I keep replaying our conversation after crying and allowing him to talk without interruption. I never died, Caroline. I was just presumed dead. I was taken as a prisoner and tortured by the rebels for years. They're hoping to know about something that I thankfully didn't know about, but without that knowledge, made it very painful. I can see tears rimming through his eyes, which he tries to subdue. They tortured me night and day, breaking all bones in my body, ripped away every nail I have. They tried drowning me to make me talk about anything that might be helpful with their intel. I was starved half to death and had never bathed. Made it through just by thinking of you. I always go back to my memories of you. The way you smile, walk, talk, eat, and laugh. Your quick remarks and unbelievable wit. He looked at me and I saw the love in his eyes. One night, I was so tired I felt like dying. This was after the routine drowning and beating that I almost gave up. I was asking God to just let me die, asking Him why He wouldn't let me die. I was delirious, but I remembered how you looked so lovely in a wedding gown as you walked down the aisle with your father by your side. You were walking towards me and you said, "Wake up, Carter. You need to wake up." And I did. From that moment on, I endured all the pain because I knew, for sure, that you were waiting for me. Fresh tears sprang from my eyes, imagining all the pain and trauma he had endured. That explained the limp that he's sporting. They tried to break me, Caroline, and I did, physically. You see, my modeling days are over. He smiled and I did, just like the old times. But they failed to break my mind. I didn't let them. I nodded and bit my lip. Battling myself with the need to be honest, I reached out and touched his chest where his steady heart is beating. "How about this, Carter?" He looked at my hand on his chest, and as if reading his mind, I answered, "What if this is broken? Would you still have a reason to live?" He sits still as a cat about to pounce. Under my palm, I can feel his heart beating fast. "Carter, I'm married." A knock on the door snapped me out of my memory. A peak of brown hair made it through the door, followed by a pair of smoky black eyes. "Hey, gorgeous," my husband greeted, walking towards me. "Hey to you too, handsome," I smiled, but I know it didn't reach my eyes. As if sensing my troubled thoughts, he walked around the table where I'm sitting on the office chair and massaged my shoulders. "Trouble in paradise, huh?" I can feel my body relaxing under his expert hands. Shaking my head, I just replied, "Nah, I'm just bombarded with all the paperwork and reports." I looked at him and smiled. This time, it's genuine. "How about you, honey? How's your day?" "It's great. The project's smooth sailing and I think we'll finish it ahead of time." I nodded. A few moments passed and I'm at a loss of words. I was so distracted of thoughts about Carter that I was startled when Paul kissed me on the cheek. Must have caught my surprised reaction that he gave me a funny look. "Are you sure that you're okay?" he asked again, eyes boring into mine. Yes, why would I not be?" I stammered. "All right, well, I guess it's time for bed," he announced with a sing-song voice. "You go ahead, I'll be right behind you," he thumbs up. I watched him walk towards the door as lithe as a cat. How Carter and Paul were so different, but somewhat alike at the same time. "Oh, honey," he stopped at the door and looked back. "You've got mail." He rummaged through his jacket pocket and produced a white envelope. "From who is that?" I asked curiously. "Let me see." He flipped the envelope on the side where the name is written and said, "Carter Regalia, do you know him?" Of course I do. He's my best friend, the first man in my life, I thought, but never voiced it out. Instead, I answered, "Yes, he's a friend of mine." Saturday means laundry day. This also means I have the time to think things through, abandoning all thoughts about work. As my hands were sorting the clothes by color, my thoughts flew out the window, going back to the day I met Carter at the coffee shop. He's dumbfounded when I dropped the married bomb on him. His mouth hanged open. Eyes popped out of the sockets that I thought he would transform into a Wendigo. Few minutes passed before he released a deep breath and recovered from the shock. "I thought your parents told you, or even one of your friends." He just stared at his hands, which were resting on his lap. "Nobody told me." I watched as he clenched and unclenched his hands, a gesture I was so familiar of. He always does this when he is anxious, uncomfortable, or angry. Maybe they just want me to find it out myself, he added. Or it might be that they thought of withholding the information until they're sure that you can cope with it. He just nodded, meaning he agreed with me. I felt so uncomfortable that I was starting to wring my hands. Sensing this, he held my hands and laced his fingers to mine. Carter, I should have waited for you, I said, voice filled with regret. He shook his head. No, I totally understand. We didn't know if I'm dead or alive, and it'll be a waste if you never got married. You're gorgeous and perfect. He paused and added, your husband is a very lucky man. What can I say to that? At the loss of words, we let silence to ensue. Only our breathing and beating hearts filled our ears. We hold on to each other's hands, willing for this moment to last. I sighed and focused on sorting the clothes again. White, red, blue, pants, shorts, dresses, long sleeve. My hands stilled as I studied Paul's work clothes. A red stain is visible on its collar. I looked closer and scratched it. Instead of coming off, it blooded. I brought it to my nose and sniffed. A vanilla-ish scent invaded my nose. It's not only coming off from the stain but the entirety of the white button-down shirt. I have this gut-wrenching suspicion of Paul cheating on me. He knew better than to wear a vanilla-scented perfume since I loathed the smell, and I'm a lip tint and lip gloss wearing woman, not the kind who wears red lipstick. As if in a dream, I folded the shirt, went out the door, and climbed the stairs into our bedroom. Feeling numb and out of my mind, I started changing clothes because no one can explain this better than Paul.
Watch out for this Tales Part 2 next week and check out our bonus episode.
If you like the story, please click on the subscribe button for you to be updated with our new episodes every week. And if you want to know more about the story behind each story, please visit us on YouTube at Weaver of Tales Podcast Videos. For story submissions, you can email them to weaverofTalesPodcast@gmail.com, or you can visit our Facebook page, Weaver of Tales Podcast, and our Instagram account. That concludes our week. Thank you so much. Have a happy weekend and good night.